Hi guys, welcome back to my channel today. So let's go ahead and cut out this pattern for the bag, and we'll also go ahead and sew it on the same video. But remember, I will split this video into two equal parts. That this is part one, and we're going to go ahead and make part two. So now let's go ahead, and I told you the measurement for this one is 8 by 9.5 inch. So it's 8 by 9.5 inch. So after that, I will now go ahead and cut the patterns, that's the shape and the design of the bag that I want to sew. And I measured out here to be 1 inch. The two sides will be 1 inch, and the upper side of the bag will be 1.5 inch. So I measured the upper side of this one to be 1.5 inch, as I told you, and these two sides of the bag will be 1 inch. So after that, I curved it from the upside coming down to the sides of the bag, and I measured 1 inch to curve it. The upper side and the side of the bag is 1 inch. I measured from that junction. That's how I curved it. Then after covering this one, now I came up here. Then I measured 1 inch from where I stopped measuring 1.5 inch. That's the place I measured 1 inch again to cut it from that junction also. Then after that, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Please stay tuned. If you want to know how to make this bag, please stay tuned to the end of this video, so that this video will also be a meaningful video for you. Now let's go ahead and continue to cut this one out. So after cutting that side now out, I will cut the side that I measured 1 inch, and the upper side that I measured 1.5 inch. This one that I'm doing now is the step two, but I supposed to cut out the step two before I will go to the step one. So after cutting out this step two now, I will go to step one. Then after cutting that side, I fold this one and I place it on top of the other side to get the actual measurement, so that one side will not be bigger than the other side. That's why I actually do my video this way. So I cut my pattern by placing this one side that I cutted out on the other side to place it and cut it together also. Then after cutting this one now, I will now go ahead and measure the part one, because all these ones are designed that I'll give the bag. So now let's go ahead and do this one. Can you see how this one looks like after cutting it? So now let me go ahead and cut the step one. So after cutting the step two, I will now go ahead and cut the step one. The reason why I cutted out the step two is I don't want to damage my leather. I want to cut all of them together before sewing it. Because if I not cut it together, when I will cut the step two, there will be a space on my leather that I don't know what I'll use it to do. So that's why I'm doing this. So on this one now, I measure the size to be 0.6 inch. Then after measuring the size to be 0.6 inch, I measure this downside to be 4 inch. After measuring the downside to 4 inch, I will now draw the curve and stop at the place I measured the 4 inch. On this place I measured 4 inch, I will make the curve to be sharp, and it will be like triangle. So at that place that I'll stop, that's the place I'll add my zip. Just watch me as I do this one. So now what I will do is to draw something like triangle at that point that I measured 4 inch. That's the place I will stop. I will not cut this to downside of the back. Now let me show you. So this is how I cutted it out. Can you see how I cutted it? I told you I stopped at that place I measured 4 inch, and I make it to be like triangle there. Can you see? So after this now, the next thing I will do is to add zip on the upper side of this bag. This bag will be on step 3. That's 3 stages. This is the first one. The other one I cut it out the second one. Then the third one will be the main body of the bag. That will be the bigger one. So now let me go ahead add zip on this one now. So after adding the zip on this one, then I'll add zip on this one again. After adding the zip, I'll add the round body of the bag. Just watch me, please stay tuned so that you will learn every steps on this bag. So now let me go ahead and add zip on this one now. So after sewing the zip, please remember to add the zip head. You do frustrates after sewing the bag, you want to open the bag, you not see the zip, it frustrates too much. So to avoid that, please, after sewing any zip, first of all add the zip head before joining it on the main body of the bag. So after adding the zip here, now I'll add the zip head. Then after adding the zip head, I will now go ahead and add it on the main body of the bag. So let me go ahead and add the zip head now. So you check whether you are adding it at the right side or at the left side. If it's at the right side, make sure that other ones you want to sew will also be at the right side. If it's at the left side, you make sure that other ones are also at the left side, so that this one will not be opening this side and the other one will be opening the other side. Then after sewing this, adding the zip head also, I will now get the middle of the bag. I will now get this middle of those bag here. After getting the middle of the bag, I'll give it a notch. Then after notching it there, I will also get the middle of the main body of the bag. Then from there, I will join two of them together. After joining two of them together, I will now sew each round where it will stop. I told you I will not add extra leather on this zip. It's just on this main body of the bag that I'll add it. Just watch me the way I will sew it now. So I'm getting the middle of this one. So after getting the middle of this one now, I'll join it together, then I'll sew each round. So I'll go ahead and sewing this. But looking at this that I'm sewing now, I noticed that I did not add my cord. I told you I like adding the cord on all my bag. It makes it to stand firm. It makes it to look so beautiful. So after sewing this now, I noticed that I did not add the cord though. I need to add my cord so that I'll make my bag to attract my customers. So what will I do now? What I will do is just to lose this one again. Then I will go ahead and add the code that I want to do. So let me go ahead. You see what I'm doing. Can you see after sewing this back? Can you see how it's doing mess, 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 mess? No, I don't like the shape of the back. I need to add the cord. Can you see design? No. Have you seen when I added cord and sew it again? Look at where I stopped. As you can see now, this bag is so beautiful. Then after sewing this, I will now go ahead and add the lining that will cover it. So it will be pocket now. So because when I open the zip now, you will see that there's no pocket there. But when I add the lining, it will just cover it. So now let me go ahead and add the lining on those bags. Then after adding the lining on those bags, I will tell you what I noticed. I know I'm the person that's sewing it, but nobody is perfect. Now watch this bag. After adding the lining, you will see that I lose some parts of the cord because I don't want this cord to go down, because I'll still add another cord on top of this one. So to avoid the hard aspect of it while sewing it, I'll use this cord. The cord will stop where the zip stopped. Just watch me after adding the lining on those bags. I'll still lose some parts of the cord. I noticed it after adding the lining. I noticed that I'm not supposed to bring the cord downside of the bag. It's supposed to stop where the zip stopped. So watch me now as I do that one. So I'm sewing the lining around the body of the bag. So after sewing it, this is how it looks like. Can you see now? So now let me go ahead and join this one here. Oh, why I want to join this one, I noticed that I supposed to add another chord. That's why I told you that I'll lose this one. But first of all, I'll get the middle points of this one, then I'll sew it together to make it to come together very well before I will add it on the back. So I'm sewing the middle point of this one together. So can you see after doing it together, can you see how it comes together now? So at this, I'll add zip on this one before I will come to the cord that I'm telling you about. So now after adding the zip on this one, remember to add the zip head. Very important to avoid frustration. Then after adding the zip head, I'll get the middle point of that side, then the middle point of this side also. That's where I will add two of them together and I'll sew each round. So before doing that, I need to add a cord. Don't mind me, I want to sew you without the cord, but I'll still add the cord there after sewing it because I will say that the bag is not neat on my own eye. But sometimes you can add your bag without adding a cord. You can sew your bag without adding a cord. But for me, sometimes I like using the cord because it makes the bag to look beautiful. It makes the bag to stand firm. It makes design of the bag to be so nice and so wonderful. Then can you see now? What I will do now, I will lose some part of the cord. I will lose some part of this cord here. I will stop where the zip stops. Then I'll add another cord on top of that. So now after adding the cord, as I told you that the other one will stop where the zip will stop, then the other one will come on top of that at that junction that I added the zip. Then after that, I will go ahead and join the other side of the bag. That's the second zip of those bags. So after sewing it, I will show you what I'm talking about. So now after sewing this, can you see where the cord passed? Can you see where this second zip stopped? Then from that where the second zip stopped, next thing I will do now is to go ahead and measure it out. And the measurement is 3.5 inch by 2 inch. So this side is 3.5 inch and this side is 2 inch. Then from there now I'll curve it from one side of the bag. So I'll curve it. I measure 2 inch by 1.5 inch. That's the place that I'll curve. So after covering it now, the shape is this way, and I'll also curve the other side. So I'll put this one on top the other side. So I'll use it to cut it to make sure that two of them are equal. So now after cutting the two of them, the next thing I will do is to join it on the body of the back. And you see how it looks like. So let me go ahead and join this one with this now. But first of all, let me add the zip here to avoid frustration or to avoid had I known I would have added first before sewing it. But so let me go ahead and add it now. So can you see how the curved side shape looks like? So it will be by the side of those back. So I have checked to know whether it enters. I noticed that this one is longer than that. That's why I just reduced it small. So let me go ahead and join it. I'll join this side and I'll sew it, and I'll also join the other side and I'll also sew it. So now let's go. So after sewing this side now, I will turn it and I will sew it again. Then after that, I will now join it on the main body of the bag. Can you see I've sold it saying I'm joining it on the main body or the back. I want to tell you something that this cord will not stop at the end. I will give something like 1.5 inch interval, then I'll sew the other side without the cord, because I'll still add another cord here. You see what I'm talking about? And have you seen how this back curved? I told you it will curve here. Have you seen how it curved after sewing the two sides of the back? Have you seen what I'm talking about? So now the next thing I will do is to cut out the excess on the downside of the bag. So I'll curve it also. So now after curving it, now have you seen how it looks like? So the next thing I will do now is to use my lining and cover it up also. So look at how this bag curved at the base side of the bag. That's the shape that I want. I don't want it to be straight forward. I want it to curve this way. So after that now, I will join it with a lining. So after covering the lining, on my next video, I will show you how you will cut the main round body, the zip, and the back side of the bag. This bag serves as a ladies bag. It serves as school bag. Can use it to do school bag. Can use it to do ladies bag. You can use it to do anything at all, and the shape is so nice and so beautiful. So I'm adding the lining. This leather is what I'm using as a lining. I want the bag to be more strong. That's why I'm not using fluffy lining. I'm just using the leather to do the lining for the bag. So after covering it now, I will now add the cord on the bag. Please like the video, share the video, and also I want to hear from the comment section. If there's any question at all you want to ask me, just go ahead and ask me. And very, very, very soon we are starting our online class. Please join us on this online class. We'll be teaching how to make lunch bag, school bag, traveling bag, and the mother care bag, even handbag is also included on that online class. Please, you can go ahead and register with me so that we'll do it together. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you so much. Please, if this video is of any use to you, please can you just subscribe? Can you also just like the video for me so that I will go far? Can you also please share the video for me? Can you please share the video? Share the video now. Like my video. I beg you in the name of God, like the video, and also hit on notification bell, and they also subscribe to my YouTube channel.